I've worked so hard to get this, and now I have it, the Nintendo Switch 2. And I've had it for around a week or so. I've gotten used to the software and played the new games. So, what do I think of it? Is the Nintendo Switch 2 a bad console, or is it a good console? Let's get into it. Now, I just want to say that I like the Nintendo Switch. It's not a bad console. I'd even say that it's done a lot for Nintendo as a company. But wow, isn't it an outdated console? There's a lot of problems with the original Nintendo Switch. I'd say around the very end of the console's lifespan. Well, it's still kind of going on. It just had a lot of issues with the games. So, I definitely would say that we needed an upgrade to it. Luckily, we got the announcement of a Nintendo Switch 2 coming, and in my personal opinion, I think this console is a huge improvement over the original Nintendo Switch, outside of the console, and inside of it too. It is the closest to feeling like a next-gen console, and for Nintendo standards, not console standards, it's a step up for Nintendo consoles. This feels like a confidently designed console. Before I get into all of this you see on the screen, I want to get into these, and the top of this, and then the back of it too. So, the Joy-Con 2s, I like these. They're far more easier to access than the original Joy-Cons. You just snap them off, and then you snap them right back in. It's just a perfect system, and I really like it. Compare this to the original Switch, where you would have to take off the Joy-Cons like this. It's not a bad system or anything, I just think the Switch 2 does it better. Another thing the Switch 2 does better is the game slot. So, it's far easier to access now, where you just pop it open, and that is it. It's better, it's quicker, it's faster. The original Switch has that too, but in the front. So if you wanted to put a game in, you'd have to go through the front. So I think putting it in the back is far better. As for the kickstand on the Switch 2, I don't really like it. Now, it's a strong kickstand. I'm just not a big fan of how they designed it. So here's the home menu, and this is one of the many issues that the Nintendo Switch 2 suffers from. It's a minor issue, and I'll be honest, I don't really care about it, but it just kind of gives off this we didn't really care vibe. It's not bad or anything, but you could have added some backgrounds here or there, which we still do not have. The Switch 2 has many new additions. Game chat, which I don't really care about. It's probably a better alternative if you don't have Discord, if you like to be spied on. The mouse controls, far better resolution. The camera, which I do not have. So, let's get into the mouse controls. So after messing around in Donkey Kong Bonanza's artist mode, I can say that the mouse controls feel pretty good. The only issue though is that there's not many games that take advantage of these. Stuff like Game Builder Garage will use the mouse controls. Mario Maker 2 most likely uses them. Splatoon 3, but not every single game. And I really do hope that these are taken advantage of in the future, which, once Metroid Prime 4 comes out, we will have more games that most likely will use the mouse controls. I will say, if you have to create an entire game that takes advantage of these controls, then it does concern me just a little bit. Actually, why I'm on here, the Switch 2 eShop is actually navigatable instead of the original. Just because of that alone, it makes me not want to go back to my original Nintendo Switch. The Switch 2 has far more resolution options now. Unfortunately, you can't use these in handheld mode. You're only stuck with just the one option. But when you hook it up, you're going to really notice that jump up in quality. And it feels great. It is kind of stupid you can't switch to other options. With the original Switch, you had 720p to 180p. But that was more limited, so I could see why. There's a lot more I could get into with the Switch 2. I could go into some issues I have with it, but it isn't really with the console itself. In fact, it's kind of a mixed bag between console and then stuff kinda outside of the console. I can complain about the gaming keycards. I can get into, the stupid brick fiasco. But overall, I think the Switch 2 is an improvement over the original, and I do think it's a good console. Now, would I recommend it? I would, but maybe wait for it to get more games, then get it. If you're already okay with the original Nintendo Switch, then I perfectly understand that. That's all I have to say about the Nintendo Switch 2. If you have one, let me know what you think of it, and I'll see you guys next time, and bye.